All right, we are live on YouTube, and I am just waiting for the video to connect on my other monitor over here so that I can grab that link and put it into our group so that our community can conveniently join us on YouTube Live and in the live chat. It seems like it has come up now, so let me grab this link and put it in the group. Oop, like that. Let's make sure that it posts before we get started because I want them to make sure they can get on with us because they help us make this show better, just like our members that are in studio. So that is posting. Let me see. Can I see the live chat? Look, Glow is already over here. Good morning, Glow. Glow said, "You look so pretty." Thank you, Glow. I appreciate you. And the ladies in the studio who also said the same thing, even though a couple of them was being messy. But that's all right. That's all right. It is all right. All right. I think we are ready to officially get started. So welcome to your First Six Figures Morning Show, where every show is intentionally more of an interactive coaching and training experience to position you, the online service-based entrepreneur, to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. This week's blog is at shaycannon.com/2025 biz. That's 2025 biz. Okay. Because what we're talking about this week, our final live broadcasting week of 2024, what we're talking about are my high impact 2025 predictions every entrepreneur needs to know. All right. 2024 has been, a good year for some, up and down for others. And for some of y'all are like, why I keep doing this to myself yet another year, right? But the landscape is evolving at a rapid pace for doing business, especially for us online service-based businesses. So we need to stay ahead of the curve because it's more critical than ever these days, especially if you're looking forward to president-proofing your business and your life, right? So success in 2025 will depend on understanding those shifts and shaping them and including them in how you're doing business, your operations, how you connect with clients, and how you deliver value, okay? Now, we are giving 4 predictions this week. Yesterday, we gave the prediction of content, how you need to be doing content differently. So if you need to know how to do that, then you need to go back to yesterday's episode. But today, we're going to get into something that even I need to do, and that is hyper niche, okay? Hyper niche. Some of y'all have a niche, but guess what? What 2025 is giving off is you're going to have to go deeper in that niche, all right? So in a crowded marketplace, being a generalist is no longer going to work, okay? For years now, it's been getting there to where you had to describe your ideal client persona even more in detail so that your messaging can back it up. Well, in 2025, you're going to have to do it even more. You're going to have to make a decision, and you're going to have to stick with that decision, right? So again, being a generalist is no longer enough to stand out or attract the right clients. Potential clients are actively seeking specialists, okay? Specialists, experts who deeply understand their unique challenges and can provide tailored solutions to meet their specific needs. Now, if you think I only mean how you service, I need you to understand that this is why we have to pick one type of ideal client persona and not a group of people, because unless you can speak to the uniqueness of the one, you're not going to attract a whole bunch of people that are like the one. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind. A super niched ideal client persona allows you to position yourself as a go-to authority in your field, but also increasingly, you're going to be perceived as the one that they should choose. Okay, the one they should choose. I'm going to go off script from the blog for a minute. Years ago, we started getting these hyper niche brick and mortar businesses that were popping up. For example, it started with like Supercuts, right? Supercuts is not known for doing hair color. They're not known for putting chemicals in your hair. They're only known for giving your butt a quick haircut. That's all. It's gonna be an affordable haircut. It's gonna be a quick haircut. They're not gonna wash your hair. None of that extra stuff. You sit down and you get a cut. Supercuts, right? And then from supercuts, other people started doing it. Cheek cut, clip, all that kind of stuff. After that, we had something called dry bar. Okay, dry bar, where you came in and people took your clean, dry hair and styled it. All they did was a style for you off your dry hair, right? So popping up were these businesses that became known for doing one thing. Did it mean that they didn't do other stuff? No, it's not what that meant. And people understood that I can go to dry bar, I can still get a color, I can still get my hair washed, I can still get a traditional styling experience, but they specialize in a quick turnaround for a dry style. Okay? This is what we have to do. But we have indoctrinated ourselves to believe that if we go too niched, if we talk too much specificity and detail about who we serve, we're leaving people out, and therefore we won't make as much money. Not understanding that's not how people buy. It's not even how you buy, right? So when you're looking for someone to help you with Invisalign, right? You don't go to a general dentist. You're going for somebody to hold themselves out to be a specialist in Invisalign, the product, right? So we buy that way, but for some reason, when we sell, we all of a sudden have a lack mentality and think, well, I don't want to say too little of a segment because I don't want to leave other people out and not get their money. Well, now you're not getting enough of money, period. Because nobody is self-identifying that you're the exact person that they need. And that's what we need. And that's why hyper niching in 2025 is going to be even more important. Because with whoever the president is, with whatever the economic situation is going to be, people are going to look for some type of guarantees that they're going to get the result that they need. And so instead of going to a generalist in their minds, they're going to get more of the guaranteed return on investment when they go to the specialist. So you have to become a specialist. All right. Now, by honing in on a narrow, well-defined audience, your messaging can be laser focused, resonating with the exact pain points, desires, and goals of your ideal clients. This clarity not only helps you craft offers that align with their expectations, but also builds trust and confidence in their investment, ensuring they see you as the best possible solution for their needs. Dr. Tachi said, yes, super niche. You know exactly what you are going to get. When I was in college, I used to work at the Healthy Back store. We sold all things for a healthy back, the ergonomic office chairs, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and we had massage therapists. Yes. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that other people don't sell those things. And it's not that, that you can't sell other things. But when you're known to specialize in this one thing, when people have that one thing going on, they're going to come to you. Okay. So that was awesome. Thank you for that, Dr. Tachi. So, on the morning show, we give you more. So let's go beyond the blog. Let me pull up my, show notes so we can give you some actionable strategies for this hyper niche. And it's amazing. Let me tell you another story because something just happened to me this week to help me to understand there's something about my niche that I have not been leaning into that I definitely need to. And that is one of my YouTube videos was talking about bragging, right? Brag, you need to brag. And what we know is generally bragging is just marketing. But women, especially Black women, tend to have a problem with marketing because we have a problem with bragging. Especially if you're from the South, right? Because bragging is especially frowned upon if you're a little Black girl from the South, right? So when I talked about that. And I even said, being a little Black girl from the South, brag, you need to brag more, brag, brag, brag. When we talked about storytelling last week, I said brag, right? Because I want you to understand what stories you're supposed to be telling. We're supposed to be giving marketing and telling stories that accentuate what is great about us. Right. And in the personal world, we know that as bragging, but in the business world, we know that as marketing. But the connection is that women as a whole, and especially Black women, have a problem bragging. And therefore, there is this psychological boundary, barrier, obstacle to marketing. Right. I know that about my ideal client, and that's why I did a mindset piece on bragging. Well, I had 2 men to enter my comments on YouTube, and one of them said bragging is not the right word. Here in the UK, it has a negative connotation. Sweetie, I'm not in the UK. Okay. And I started the video off with a little Black girl from Alabama. That should tell you I'm not in the UK. So what's a negative connotation in the Queen's English is not my problem. Okay. And I'm not talking to people speaking the Queen's English. I'm talking primarily to American Black women. All right. So that hit me. And then another man came in there and told me point blank, bragging was the wrong word. If you do good work, then people will find you. You don't have to brag. Well, sir, do you know what marketing is? Do you? I use bragging because of who I was talking to. Okay. And I know that they would identify. Dr. Toya said yes to all of that about bragging. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I know who I'm talking to. I know what their hangups are and all of that kind of stuff. So again, we have to watch what we say because we have a brand to protect. But what I wanted to say was clearly I wasn't talking to you. Get off of here. But that let me know that even what we're talking about today, I need to make it known who I'm talking to so they know I'm talking to them and that other people know who I'm talking to because the people I'm talking to recognize the language I am using just for them. But clearly, if I'm not talking to you, you might not recognize that language. So let me go and tell you, I'm not talking to you. Let me lean into the fact that I am talking about women and especially Black women. Because we need safe spaces, okay, for us. And we need someone to talk to us differently than they talk to general people. Because as a man, you're used to being able to spread out and take up room and take up space, okay? That is not something most women are used to. So don't come in a space for women spreading out. Close your legs in them small balls. But anyway, so this is why hyper niching is important. So now we're going to go into some actionable steps now that y'all done heard that story. Look at Dr. Tachi with her eyes. All right, so let's go into the stories. Let's go into the strategies, okay? The first thing you're going to have to do is conduct deep audience research, okay? So especially when you don't have as much experience with your ideal client persona, you're going to have to rely on research. I have a lot of experience and plus I research and plus I analyze and come up with more data. You guys are going to have to do the same stuff. So you can use surveys, polls, interviews to gather specific details about your ideal client's pain points, desires, and the demographics. One of the hardest things that when I'm doing a strategy session with entrepreneurs, one of the hardest things is for them to create that ideal client persona that has about 20 to 30 characteristics because they don't know that much about that. They know who they want to work with on a general level. But see, generalists, that's not working. You got to know these people at a detailed level. So we can start with these things to kind of so that we can have a place to start. And then we start paying attention to see if reality is mirroring the research that we found. Because we want to go with the experience over theory. We want to go with reality. But when you don't have reality, we start with theory and start bringing in data of reality. Okay. So go beyond general traits, uncover the exact challenges they face, get underneath there. Why are they facing these challenges? Tailor your messaging to address those needs, okay? The next thing you want to do is take that information and now you can position yourself as the one person they need to solve their problem for them, right? Now that we know who you are, we're going to start using messaging that talks to you, and we're going to position ourselves as the only choice to help you in particular. Okay, so focus your services on solving that one specific niche's problem. What is a high value problem for them that you're solving with your service? And we're going to use all of our marketing and all of our messaging to talk about that one problem. This is why I teach y'all that you need to have a main thing. And that main thing needs to be your forward-facing thing that you are marketing. So when you start marketing, in a big way, the down sales, marketing in a big way, an upsell that they can't even get to without going through the main thing, you're confusing people. There's a time and a place for them to be marketed to for different things, but generally, your forward-facing marketing should be your main thing so that it is repetitive, so that you become known for this one main thing, for this one main super niched ideal persona. All right. So this is how you position yourself as a specialist. All right. We're going to create content that speaks directly to our number one girl, my number one girl. That's y'all. Right. So who is your super niched ideal client? And now we're going to create content for that super niche ideal client, which is why I was talking about quote unquote bragging. Okay. Now, we also want to include the specialist perspective. What do I mean by that? We're going to show that super niche ideal client that we're the specialist by showcasing proven results. So not just testimonials, not just results, proven results for people just like them. People just like them. That's what makes us the specialist. Not I got results for this person, that person, that person. No, somebody just like you is who I got results for. So now what we need to do is go back to our testimonials, and we need to pull out the aspects of the person giving the testimonial that is just like our super niche ideal client. And we need to highlight how they're just like that super niche ideal client, so that when that person sees the result, they say, oh, she just like me. This is why I niche down to service-based businesses. Even though I can help a product-based business, I talk to service-based because it's different, right? Let me tell y'all a subtle difference. Do y'all notice I always say client? I never really say customer. Why? Because a customer is for client, it's for product-based businesses. Clients are for service-based businesses. I say client. If I'm trying to talk to everybody, oh, your client, your customer, the person that pays you, now you can't even commit to one word that means the same thing, because you haven't committed to one super niche person that would recognize that word as pertaining and relating to them. Super niche. Okay. So we even need to niche down our testimonials. When people ask, I'll do a testimonial. What do you want me to say? If they ask you what you want them to say, tell them, tell us about how, you were afraid to do this, but you did this and you got that result. You know what I'm saying? Some people just need help in what to say. They know you did a wonderful thing for them. They know they got your transformation. They know the service worked, but they're like, I don't know what to say in the testimonial. Tell them what to say, okay? Tell them what to say. Say, hey, when it came to you, I feel like this was your obstacle to getting the result. So talk more about that part of it, and then tell the people how you got the result that you're wowed about, right? Kimberly said, good based companies may use consumer. Yep. Food, not good. Food-based consumer. Yep. That's another word for customer and client. All right. The next thing is narrow your offer, which you already know. We talk about main thing all the time, but now we're going to make sure that we're talking about the pain points and the transformation that are key words for this super niched client. So we go back, once we niche this client down some more, we go back and we change everything to be for this niche client. So everything is going to need a little tweak to make sure that your messaging around it is for that specific person. Okay. Also, we're going to use our super niche persona to start collaborating in more niched communities. Okay, more niche communities. So now I'm not going to just go where business owners are. I need to go where female business owners are. And I need to go where Black female business owners are. Okay, so hopefully y'all got all of that. Let me go back through. We're going to start with Dr. Latoya, and the question is, give me a hyper niched version of your ideal client that you're going to be creating messaging for in 2025. So tell me what your old version is and tell me some stuff you're going to add in there. Okay. Let me go back to the top to give y'all these strategies again. So you're going to conduct deep audience research to figure out who is the super niche ideal client persona. You're going to position yourself as the specialist. You're going to create content that speaks directly to your new super niche ideal client persona. You're going to be highlighting what they would identify as them as a super niche persona as a part of the testimonials. You're going to make sure the offer, which still is going to get them the transformation, but the languaging around describing the offer attracts this super niche person. We're going to be collaborating in super niche communities. Okay. Now, let me give y'all an example of hyper niched again. So if I thought I was hyper niche before, I'm looking at how I can be even more hyper niche. So you guys know I started off saying entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneur this, entrepreneur that, which I still say sometimes if it's got to be a 60-second video, I'm going to say entrepreneur. But when you get into my messaging and all of that, I then decided, oh, okay, well, I really like working with the ones that don't have a team or have a very small team. So that's solopreneurs. So I started using solopreneur, but then I recognized some of y'all don't know what a solopreneur is. And so if I got to add explanation into it, that lets me know I'm not using the right word. Okay. So then I said, okay, service-based entrepreneurs, because I don't want to be dealing with people who have product specific problems, trying to have messaging for you and service-based. So then I started saying service-based. Then I recognize that I'm getting service-based people who have a brick and mortar. Well, I don't want to be dealing with no brick and mortar problems. So now let me put online in front of it. Online service-based entrepreneurs, even if you don't have a team. So that encapsulated that solopreneur or small team, right? Now what I know I need to add in there is Black, female, online, service-based businesses, even if you don't have a team, okay? I need to start being hyper niche, even in my words, because I used to didn't say women, I used to didn't say Black women, but you guys self-identified because every stock photo I used was y'all. It's a Black woman in every stock photo, and she is going to be the star of that stock photo, even if other people are in it. The focus will be on the Black woman in that picture. So you were still able to self-identify. However, on video, on YouTube, there's not a stock photo. There's just me, and then it's not clear who I'm talking to. So now I need to add in Black, female, online, service-based businesses. So, Dr. Latoya, what is the general version of your ideal client persona, and what is going to be the super niche version of that for 2025? Or at least your first draft of a super niche?
The general version was I help women. I help women who are stuck or who have blocks or limitations. And I think the more niched down version of that definitely for me includes still stuck people who are spiritually in tune, or who have an understanding that there is a spiritual aspect within themselves. And this is one that I just came, who are ready to take accountability and responsibility for themselves. So people who are not looking for like an outward savior, but looking for that internal boost. That's
Love it.
where, yeah.
Love it. And do you see how that's going to help you not have to wade through as much when people come to you? You ain't got to worry about, is this a church person looking for church spiritual stuff? You ain't got to worry about, is this somebody that's looking to blame other people and they want to play the victim role? It helps you to wade through that. Do you see that?
Absolutely.
Cool beans. All right, let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, give me a hyper niche version of your ideal client that you're going to create messaging for in 2025. Tell us what the old one is and tell us what your hyper niche version is going to be.
Okay. So So the old one was I helped busy women to use food as medicine, I think, to heal. I think that was my old one. And the new one is I help high performing women struggling with chronic inflammation and autoimmune disease to take control of their bodies or to get their bodies back. Who, yeah, basically who are ready to get their bodies back.
Cool beans. And do you understand that you can't be flip-flopping? You're going to have to pick, and now you're going to have to go through all of your stuff and make sure the messaging is to this new super niche person that you're talking to, so they know that you're only talking to them.
Yeah, I've been doing that all week, like last week, week before.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Congratulations. All right, let's go to Dewana. Dewana, give me a hyper niche version of your ideal client to create messaging for in 2025. So tell us what your Owen is and tell us who you're going to niche down to even more to start talking to in 2025.
Yeah. So if I keep cooking in 2025. So in the old version was I help African Americans ages 42, I'm sorry, ages 35 to and up to reach metabolic balance. So now I'm hyper niching down to African American women ages 40 and up,
Yeah.
who are professional, busy. I won't say busy, but professional, and and need help because they don't have time.
Yes. Yes, I love that. And then you reminded me of something that I was adding to my hyper niche, which is elder, millennial, and Gen X. So basically Gen X, right? So yes, I love it. Thank you, Dewana. Cheryl, give me a hyper niche version for your ideal client to create messaging for in 2025. Let us know what the old one is and who you're going to be talking to in this coming year.
The old one was aspiring writers who want to make sustainable income from their writing. Basically, the super niche is I work with entrepreneurs using business craft and promotion strategies to create a financially sustainable career.
Love it. Love it. So in your space, right, Cheryl, would you not say there's a difference between a writer and an author?
Yes.
Yes. And so you have to say author, right? So
yes.
if, for all of you in YouTube land and everybody listening, in my opinion, and Cheryl can tell me her version, there is a huge difference between a writer and an author. An author has a published book. A writer can write for a newspaper, a periodical, a newsletter, or whatever. If you just writing and it's not a book, that's a writer. If you're writing and it's a published book, that's an author. Cheryl, tell me your version.
It's, how can I say it? For me, the author is also a businesswoman. And I'm speaking specifically to women. As a matter of fact, women usually who have been dabbling and they're on the fence and they need to either stick and move, But it's a business. If you don't run your business like a business, you have no business, which means you have no money. And one of the major issues with writers, especially if they're married, is that often the significant other or the spouse is saying, "We've spent all this money, but you've not made any money, and you need to move on to something else." Well, moving on from your dream it can mess up your life. It can mess up your head. So they need to know what to do. They need to know what they want. A lot of people just say, I want to write a book. And so I always say, well, you want it published? You want it just for yourself? You want to give it away to family? That, again, there's that difference between the writer and the author. The entrepreneur even is the author who gets published or the writer who gets published and is making money and it's sustainable. Nobody ever gets paid for doing the wrong thing for a long time.
You said that, didn't you? All right. Thank you, Cheryl. Let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, give me a super niche version of your ideal client to create messaging for in 2025. Tell us the old version and tell us who you will be talking to in this coming year.
So okay, let me give you the old one first. So
Yes.
Indie Media is a network, an independent network for independent content creators and people interested and who value independent content, fresh, new independent content. So in doing that, I asked Mrs. PT, my friend, and she gave me a bunch of them. And so one of them is the wellness seeking empowered woman. Her name is Letitia Harris. I don't know where she came up with that from. She's between the ages of 35 and 50. She's an entrepreneur and she values self-care, personal growth, relationships, emotional intelligence, and aging discussions. So in that, the shows that kind of would resonate with her would be Ladies Listen Up, You First, Glowing Agelessly, etc.
Yes.
So it broke it down basically by the shows that we have, like, well, the areas that we have, and it went and pulled all of that stuff and created different I have like about 10 of them. And so I asked for niche, and then I said hyper niche, and it got even deeper.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. And so do you see now how that's going to help you to make your decisions as far as where you're going to put your advertising dollars? What type of speaking engagements you're going to accept and all of that? Because see, that person needs to be in the audience.
Yes, yeah, it's very helpful because even though I had the avatar before for who this was, this to me actually, because now I was making an avatar based off of ethereal things. This is based off of what I actually have. So,
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. Kimberly said previously was literally anyone with feet. 2025, I'll lean more into being a foot care line like FUBU, for us, by us, like the way Black girl vitamins are. Love it. Love that laser focus. Because a lot of you don't know what content to make. You don't know, you don't know what messaging to put in on your sales page. This gives you direction. And it's going to help you to capture the exact attention of the exact person that you need to buy your product or service. All right, Shawana Kennedy Media, give me a hyper niche version of your ideal client to create messaging for in 2025. So start with who it was and start with who it will be in the new year. And then end with who it will be in the new year.
Okay. Business owners and entrepreneurs that is ready to be seen, be heard, and paid by creating more video visibility for their business. This again is wonderful, Shay, wonderful. In thinking about that, because my ideal client is men and women. However, I don't know if I need to lean into one sex or not. But the thought behind that, though, is maybe I need to even start saying service-based and listening at some of the conversations. So thinking about the service-based entrepreneur business owner, because this also applies to coaches and consultants and experts looking to increase their video visibility, to amplify their message, to show up online, more consistently for their ideal client.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think there's any problem with you leaning into. So let me tell y'all this. When you're trying to decide what details to lean into, I want you to think about who is the person that's most desperate for your service, right? Because see, it's an easy sell to somebody who know they need something than it is to educate somebody into understanding why they need you. So when you look at who is desperate for your service, Shawana, is it a man or woman?
The woman is always above the man, because some men, yeah, they know they need it, but they brush it off.
Okay. But also, even the niche of possibly not having the confidence to do what you need to do for your business and get those videos out, who is that most likely to be?
A woman.
You see what I'm saying? So that can help you to make the decision on how we're going to super niche this stuff and what are going to be the traits that we pull out as a part of our super niche. So for me, it was very easy for me to understand that, some things were just women, and then you keep going and then it's Black women, you know what I'm saying? So as I kept bringing it down into a deeper niche, I kept thinking to myself, who is this not going to be a heavy lift for to understand this is for them in connection with who exactly is it I want to serve? So yes.
So what are you saying that you believe in some of my messaging, I even need to say service-based? I'm even thinking about that now too in some of the little 60-second videos that I'm working on.
I feel like you also can say online service-based, because saying service-based is not even enough. Because there are plenty of service-based businesses that don't really have an online presence, and they don't value it, and so they're not going to invest in being seen and being heard on it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Cool beans. All right. Glow said, I don't know, to be honest. I need time to think about it. And so what I messaged her back is, you have very specific conversations on your podcast. What are the details that describe the person that is most likely to entirely enjoy that conversation? And she came back with people that are in relationships and like hot topics and sometimes controversial conversations. So you see, because, them conversations on Glow's pocket, they wow. You know what I'm saying? It might make you, it might make your aunties blush. But there are specific people that like those type of conversations and they seek them out, right? So who are these people? They're most likely to like stuff on the Shade Room. You know what I'm saying? So they most likely to want to be nosy and see who's inside groups like Girl Don't Date Them. It's a very specific person that likes these conversations. So you need to cater to those people, what they like, call them out, and go into the spaces where they are. So yes, I like that, Glow. Cool beans. So I want you guys to think about, for 2025, do you have any questions about the content you need to be making? And do you have any questions about hyper niching your ideal client persona? I'm going to go to these announcements, because this morning show is a part of our bigger free business mastermind, and so we have mastermind business. Okay, so show notes. There's only 2 ways for you to get my show notes, where I give you more than what's in the blog. The first is to be a part of the free business mastermind group, and they live in the files section. The second way is you can get the entire morning show in your inbox by signing up at shaycannon.com/show. You'll get an email in the morning reminding you to hop on the YouTube live. You'll get an email in the afternoon with 2 links, one to the replay, one to the show notes. Cool beans. Tomorrow is Wednesday. And so we have our free training for the month, and that is your 2025 business goal planning. Again, this is a free training. So go to shaycannon.com/planning 2025 to sign up for the free training. Now, there is an opportunity for you to invest, to come behind the velvet rope and be a VIP. And the difference is, as a VIP, you'll be in the Zoom room with me. In the free training, you'll be on YouTube Live. The people in the Zoom room get preferential treatment in their questions and all of that good stuff. And so, I'll drop the link for you, Kimberly. But yes, and then so they also get an extra hour past that 30-minute free training. They get an extra hour of training where we're going to do a deeper dive in a review of 2024 to get our 2025 goal plan done. And they will get tools in the success kit. So go to shaycannon.com/planning 2025. Go ahead and sign up. Now, if you are just signing up on the free part, you have missed the opportunity to get the fast action workbook. However, if you are a VIP, you get one of those workbooks anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right. So shaycannon.com/planning 2025. On Thursday, we have our movie club night in the free group. I forgot to put the poll. And I might just pick a movie for us, because I forgot to put the poll for the vote in the group yesterday. So maybe I'll put the poll in, or maybe I'll pick a group, but you'll know either way today. But even if you wait until about 3 o'clock tomorrow to watch the movie, you'll still be right in time to bring your business nuggets to the discussion at 7 p.m. Eastern time, because I don't watch the movie until 3 o'clock. So you got plenty of time. The details will be in the free group. On Friday, we're having a Get Shit Done work session from 1 to 5 for the paid membership. However, the free group is invited to join in on the last part. Details are in the free group. All right. Dr. LaFera has the question. What is your question, Dr. LaFera?
My question is, so when you asked me that question, I didn't give you like every little detail of like my ideal client. One of them that was important was like the women over 40. But like when you're doing content, with how much of the content would you suggest? And they're also Black women. They're also mostly Black women. So like when doing content, like how much would you suggest that you make that content about say like a woman over 40 issue, and say an issue that is related to gut health? Or would your content like mostly like is there a percentage that you would use, or would like everything encompass that whole hyper niche person's issues? You know what I'm saying?
I do. And I would lean into everything being for the hyper niche, because what you have to look at is you cannot assume that because most of your stuff and a higher percentage of your stuff is hyper niche, that when someone encounters the part that is not, that they will know that you're talking to them.
Yeah.
So that's a part of that shift that's why I'm no longer saying niche. I'm saying hyper niche. That means everything you do need to be for this person. That's how 2025 is looking. Because see, if I need you and I encounter you saying something and it's too general, I don't know I need you and I'm not going to look back at you. So we need to take every opportunity in everything that we do and all the messaging that we put out and all the offers that we have to be for this hyper niche person.
Okay. Yeah. Good. All right.
Cool beans. No problem. All right, guys. That's about it. If we have no more questions, let me check YouTube again. Okay. Yeah, everybody's quiet over there, even though we have more than Glow watching. They quiet. That's all right. Keep watching us. And if you said bragging was not the right word, don't watch us. But yes. So do me a favor. First of all, find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, how to join the free business mastermind group, and any additional links and resources in the description below. However, if you have not already, help us out by giving us a thumbs up on the episode today, and subscribe to the channel, and understand that this is a series. So make sure that you watch the other videos in the series. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.